All right, so now we come to paragraph 2 of the data collection section for chapter 4. So the first thing we're going to do in this paragraph is report the sample size. The next thing we're going to do is report the descriptive statistics of the demographic characteristics of the sample. Okay? You're going to provide a descriptive analysis for the independent and dependent variables in addition to that. Okay? In addition to the demographic information. And then you're going to describe how representative the sample was or is of the population of interest. Okay? You're going to do these things in paragraph 2. All right, so now we're going to come down to paragraph 2 in Dr. Walker's dissertation. As stated previously, there were a total of 240 respondents who completed the survey. Check. There were 104 women, 136 men. Okay, this is the demographic information. So you put the number. Anytime you put a number, you're going to put the percentage. All right. So anytime you have percentages, you're going to put the number and then the percentage. If you have a mean, you're going to put the mean and the standard deviation in parentheses. Or the standard deviation in parentheses. So if you say that the mean age was blah, 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 you put the mean and then you put the standard deviation in parentheses. A majority of respondents were between the ages of 25 and 34 years of age and were married between 2 and 4 years. See table 1. She was a little light here, but I mean, she has all this data. She could have talked about more things. So don't talk about everything. So here's the thing. You got 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, she talked about 4 things. All right, that's fine. But it's a little light. She only has, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4 sentences. Okay, fine. A paragraph has to be a minimum of 3 sentences, but it just looks light. But anyway, that's fine. Okay, so then here's the table that corresponds with this. All right, this is the table that corresponds. So she has N and she has a percentage. This is what we call categorical data. So gender is a category, age is a category, years married, categories, time spent playing MMORPGs, these are all categories. All right, now, then she gets into describe how representative the sample is to the population. The total population consists of between 7 million MMORPG players in the United States. The current sample has a slightly higher percentage of females. So what you're doing is you're saying, okay, the goal is to find, okay, in the total population, what percent are males, what percent are females, what percent are employed. You know, you're looking for segments, okay? You're not looking for the total. Obviously, it's not going to match the total, but you want to make sure the proportion of the groups is similar. So let me say that again. You want to make sure that the proportion of demographic groups in your sample is similar to the demographic proportions in the population. All right. So, for example, the current sample had slightly higher percentage of females than seen in other studies. So, okay, so if you don't know what the percentage of males and females are in the total population, you go to the literature and you look at what their proportions were and you use that as your guide. So you use the total and then you use the category percentages from other studies in your field or on your relative topic as a guide. Okay, so that's the way she got around that. So the current sample has slightly higher percentages of females than seen in other studies. And these are the studies, okay? However, the age group distribution was relatively similar to other previous studies discussed in the literature review, entertainment software. And so these are the studies that were reported, okay? Now, What you could have done, or what Dr. Walker could have done, is she could have actually listed side by side the comparisons, but she chose to just write it. But if you want to, you can add a table that compares them side by side. Therefore, the sample was reasonably representative of the larger population, and I expect to have good external validity. So that's the whole point of this, right? You're just trying to say, basically, look, the proportion of groups in my study is similar to the proportion of groups in other studies that were on this topic. That's essentially what you're looking for. Okay, so that's how you write the second chapter, the second paragraph of section 3, which is data collection, description of the sample. All right, so now we're going to finish this one, and then we're going to go to paragraph 3. Now, essentially, what she did, okay, so this is all 2 and 3 were actually combined. Provide results of basic univariate analyses that justify inclusion of covariate. Okay, yeah, she didn't have to do this. So she doesn't have a paragraph 3 and a paragraph 4. So let me just speak on that. You don't need these. Okay, you don't really need these if you're not doing a covariate analysis. Okay, if you're not doing covariate analysis, you don't need these. So what you essentially would do with paragraph 3 is you would basically look at the correlations between variables and say, these two variables are correlated, so therefore this covariate needs to be included, right? So if you have questions about covariates or anything, just drop me an email. We'll get on a quick call and then we can walk through it, okay? Because 99% of the people are not going to need paragraph 3 and paragraph 4, all right? So paragraph 1 and paragraph 2 are what you need. And then now you can go on to the next section, which is summary of results, all right?